he is a bigot and expects everyone to speak his right. They all heard in their own language. And you're a faggot, Charlie. You're a faggot, little punk ass Korean.
How come you're going off on everybody?
Because he's a fucking moron. Charlie's a moron. You're lucky if I let you hang with him ever again. Okay, Charlie, you're a fucking moron, little faggot ass Korean.
Don't cuss people out, though.
He's a Southern Korean little faggot.
Why do we have to cuss people out, though?
I'm not cussing him out. I'm just saying what he is. He's a fucking bastard. He don't know his father.
Always trying to give advice.
He's looking for attention. He thinks it's a joke. He wants to mock God. Charlie, I'm gonna mute you. Okay.
God
mute you,
bless,
man.
angels.
Genesis, God creates the world, humans reckon. Exodus, the exit of the Israelites is epic. Leviticus and Numbers, God's people get wobbly. Moses whips them into shape in Deuteronomy. Joshua's pursuit of the promised land is legendary. Judges hold judges, but Ruth is extraordinary. 1st and 2nd Samuel, David has heart. 1st and 2nd Kings, the king's kingdom falls apart. Chronicles, the Israelites are entered into exile. Ezra and Nehemiah bring them back from the Gentile. Esther is the queen saving Jews from catastrophe. Job finds hope in the middle of his tragedy. Psalms are the bomb David drops when he's worshiping. Proverbs are the words of the wise king's journaling. Here's Ecclesiastes, life is a vapor. Here's Song of Solomon, skip it till later. Isaiah says King Jesus will be born. Jeremiah blasts God's plan on the horn. Lamentations, God's nations in pieces. They need a new heart, which Ezekiel teaches. Daniel, can you handle it? Furnaces and lions, the way of Hosea is salvation through the lions. Job plays a role of announcing God's day. Amos is famous for the narrow and the straight. Obadiah here applies to Messiah's on the way. So does Jonah all alone inside of fish for 3 days. Like an earthquake speaks God's power. Name's got a trustworthy strong tower. A backup with the backup of a vision on a tablet. Zephaniah writing God's love is elaborate. Haggai, good guys, fashion is contagious. Zechariah, Malachi, God's gonna save us. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, all about Jesus. Acts are the facts, he'll never leave us. Romans is a road to a spirit-filled life. Corinthians, faith, hope, love never die. Galatians, fruit of the spirit gonna grow. Ephesians, God's masterpiece, good to know. Philippians, running that race with Christ. Colossians, walk clean, doing things right. 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, giving God gratitude. 1st and 2nd Timothy, living with your attitude. Titus gonna tell us about grace from above. Philemon, leaning on brotherly love. Hebrews, growing up faith like a child. The name of the James gang, join every child. 1st and 2nd Peter cast cares on Jesus. 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, his love freezes. Jude is a dude speaking truth that burns. Revelation celebrating Jesus' return.
Spectrograph that 1,000 years of accumulated human knowledge made possible. We finally heard a word we hadn't heard before. It was written in the ratio of heavy water to ordinary water, in the chemical fingerprint of a comet from another star. That you are not as alone as you think.
In the Bible, judgment does not always look like fire falling from heaven. Sometimes judgment looks like God stepping back and letting people have exactly what they demanded. Read Romans 1 slowly, and you'll notice a phrase that repeats like a drumbeat. God gave them over. Gave them over to dishonorable passions. Gave them over to a debased mind. Gave them over to the lusts of their own hearts. This doesn't mean God becomes the author of evil. It means he allows people to fully experience the enslaving consequences of the desires they refuse to surrender. He removes the restraint. He lets the chosen thing run its full course. Sometimes the punishment for sin is the sin itself taking over. Look at Pharaoh. Exodus shows a chilling pattern. Pharaoh hardens his own heart against God again and again, refusing every warning, every plague, every chance to relent. And eventually the text says, God hardens Pharaoh's heart. Notice the order. Pharaoh resisted first. The hardening was the result of a will that had already chosen over and over to resist. By the end, Pharaoh isn't being denied a choice. He's drowning in the choices he already made. Look at Israel across the Old Testament. They want other gods. God sends prophet after prophet, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Hosea, Amos, pleading, warning, calling them back. They ignore everyone. And eventually exile comes, not because God lost patience in a fit of rage, but because a nation that demands idols eventually gets buried under them. And yet, even there, God was already preparing restoration on the other side of the judgment. Even wrath has mercy folded into it. This is the part of the pattern that should slow you down. None of these collapses happened overnight. Pharaoh didn't wake up hardened on day one. Israel didn't fall into idolatry in a single afternoon. Both stories stretch across years, even decades of small refusals stacking on top of each other until refusal became identity. That's the part that should concern you more than any single act of disobedience. Not the act itself, but what repeated acts are quietly building inside you. Here's why this matters for you. This is why it's dangerous when you can sin and feel nothing. Not because one numb moment proves you're abandoned by God, but because numbness is never something to celebrate. A conscience that no longer trembles is not freedom. It may be scar tissue. It may be the first sign that something has gone over, not just astray. Scar tissue doesn't feel pain the way healthy skin does, not because it's healed, but because the nerve endings have stopped responding. That's not strength, that's damage wearing the costume of peace. 1 Timothy 4:2 describes people whose consciences have been seared, burned, cauterized, unable to register what it once registered without effort. That's not a side note in Scripture. It's a warning aimed directly at anyone who started to feel proud of how little their own sin bothers them anymore. The scariest prayer God can answer is, fine. Have it your way. So if you're still feeling convicted right now, something in you is uncomfortable hearing this, do not despise that feeling.
That body was my image. That was the Son image. I came down as a man. I came in the form of a man. I dwelled among you guys, and you guys denied me. You're crucifying me. You're persecuting me. Like he told Saul. You're persecuting me, Saul. You guys are crucifying me. That's what you're doing, man. You're crucifying Jesus, Charlie. By not believing in who he is. You're saying, this guy's claiming to be God. This mere man, Jesus, is claiming to be God. Let's crucify him. He's not God. God sent him. You see? That's why he had to come as the Son. Because if he didn't, they wouldn't have did what they had to do. God knew that. God knew that he was going to have to come down himself. God knew that no man was worthy. You guys think that Jesus is a man and he did all this stuff? He came in the form of a man according to the flesh. He said you're from beneath, I'm from above. God manifested. God was before the foundation of the world. And then manifested for us. And he was the light. He spoke the light. And he was the light.